Welcome inside the den for a brand new edition of Sound Off Sports. Today we're breaking down Aaron Rodgers. Will he find success with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Plus, what are you watching? NBA Finals or the Stanley Cup Finals? That. Plus, TJ Lavin, the BMX Hall of Famer, joins us here in the studio for a great conversation. That and so much more coming up right now.
Make some noise. This is Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Sam and Ash.
Yeah, this has a classic 9-8, 10-7 Mike Tomlin season with just an absolute blowout loss in the first round of the playoffs. Expect nothing less out of him, but, you know, the media and everyone will try to tell you, you know, Mike Tomlin got his guy because that one time Aaron Rodgers either tried to catch us off sides or was 12 men on the field or something, and Tomlin called a timeout. They locked eyes, and he pointed at him. So, just another classic Mike Tomlin season. Just stay over that 500 point and get blown out in the first round of the playoffs.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside the den here, Fox 5 Studios, for a brand new edition of Sound Off Sports. Mike Davis alongside James Edward Barrickman, the fourth. James, you're sporting a throwback. This is vintage. Atlanta Thrashers.
This is an ode to our third block here of the show when we're talking NHL versus NBA, and I just gave away my stance with that. But I'm making a statement.
Okay, we're going to be learning more about it. That's a franchise no longer in existence.
So right now, the Winnipeg Jets, if I remember correctly. It's Evander Kane, too. So if you're a Golden Knights fan, I apologize. This is the only hockey jersey.
You're rooting for the Oilers. I'm
rooting for the Oilers.
We're going to learn why in a little bit, but put that baby up on eBay. You can get a lot of money for that. It's a throwback, vintage.
I don't think I'm getting anything for this.
All right. Well, you did wear it, and people are big fans of yours. So the question we're asking, though, everybody at home, is if they're fans of this new marriage. And yes, I'm using the word marriage here because there's a little bit of a breaking news story going on. We asked everybody initially at home, will 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, four-time MVP, one-time Super Bowl champion, will he find success with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Will this be a good marriage between Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, a supreme franchise in the NFL? Well, guess what? The breaking news, the latest on this, is the fact that Aaron Rodgers has actually been married. He's playing
for a few months.
He's throwing footballs. He's got this ring. When he signed papers, he's got the wedding band. He's signing the contract, and he's got the wedding band on. And now people are like, what's going on?
People are asking questions.
This is a dude who's been...
Who is this person?
Who's Brittany? We know the name's Brittany. And
How do you know this is Brittany?
Because I did research. I'm trying to find the marriage records.
Okay.
We know her name's Brittany. We know she uses an I instead of a Y.
Oh, Brittany.
Brittany.
Okay.
Brittany.
Got it. Okay.
But with an I.
I got it.
Now, this is a guy who's dated Danica Patrick, Olivia Munn, Shailene Woodley, the daughter of the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks.
He's Aaron Rodgers.
So is this going to be a distraction? Like, we were asking everybody at home, is he going to find success with the Steelers? And, like, listen, bottom line, he hasn't won a playoff game since 2020.
Well,
Mike Tomlin hasn't
won a playoff game since 2017.
Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season in 18 seasons, right? Now,
raise the banner.
The last time Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl, 2011, where he beat
last time Mike Tomlin's
the
been
Steelers,
to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of interesting things going on here. My question is this already a distraction? Is
the marriage thing?
Just like everything, is this going to be a good thing? And do we actually think the relationship between Rodgers and Tomlin and this whole thing could work out? Because my biggest question is, if the reports are true that they were looking for Stafford and trying to re-sign Fields, and those two options went out the window, and he was the third option, Rodgers, why trade George Pickens? Why not be all in with DK, Pickens, and Rodgers into this one-year deal where you get a chance to go on a Super Bowl run?
That's my exact question, too. So when I first heard the Rodgers news, we all kind of knew it was coming, right? But after you trade George Pickens, and as of that time, your starting quarterback was Mason Rudolph, it seems like, okay, they're going to mail it in for a season, hopefully lose a whole bunch of games and have a nice juicy draft pick to maybe go after an Arch Manning or package one of these other myriad of picks that you have to move up to get that guy, to hopefully get your franchise quarterback. And then they turn right back around and make a move that a contender, a legitimate contender, would make.
Right.
And so my whole thing is, like, if you want to sell off assets to acquire picks, then do that. But if you want to try to be a contender, then act like a contender. But you can't do both. So trading Pickens and then still signing Aaron Rodgers feels like you're spinning your wheels a little bit. You're not going one way or another. I just would have really loved to see Pickens on a team led by Aaron Rodgers.
And here's the thing with Pickens. This is a guy with tremendous potential. We've never been able to see him realize it because who's throwing him the football?
And not to mention, he's in an organization tone-deaf to offense. They haven't been a legit offense since 2018.
So now they have Rodgers, and listen, the one-year deal, they're not paying him a boatload of money. All the incentives and everything included, if he hits MVP, Super Bowl champion, it's still like only $19.5 million, which would put him behind Justin Fields, who's making 20 years. So it's really a base salary of $13 or $14 million. It's not that much money they're shelling out.
It's an absolute steal.
They did a good job with the deal.
Yeah.
It's just puzzling to me because, listen, this is still the guy whose quarterback rating last year, 48. So he just ranked 25th out of 32 in the NFL. So not the old Aaron Rodgers, but still probably an upgrade from the quarterback play that you had last year.
If you watched the Jets down the stretch last year, they were in games because of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers played well down the stretch. So I still think there's a good bit left in the tank. Yeah, he's not as mobile as he used to be. So if that O-line in Pittsburgh can stand up, that arm's still electric, and he's still got how many years of experience under his belt. So I think the fan in me is starting to get a little excited, right? I'm thinking maybe if the O-line holds up, if Roman Wilson pans out to be a legit number 2 and Arthur Smith is allowed to do his thing, maybe we have a 2009 Vikings scenario on our hands. But what I know deep down as an objective party, this is a 9 to 10 win football team that is going to get blown out wild card weekend, because at the end of the day, your head coach is still Mike Tomlin, and that's what he's proven to be since Big Ben was out of his prime.
All right, besides you, let's go to one person at home and see what they have to say about this topic.
Hey, Mike, this is Pittsburgh girl calling you from Vegas. No, Aaron Rodgers will help guide and teach Howard, but he is not our future. I don't even think that he's going to take us past playoffs, but keep hope alive. I have faith in Tomlin, but no, I'm not a Rodger fan. I think he's too old. Give the youngsters some guidance and step back. I think that even Rudolph is in better shape than Rodgers. He got hurt the first game with the Jets. No, I'm not happy with this at all. Yeah, and Mike, thanks for your show. I love it. Signing off, Pittsburgh girl.
All right, Pittsburgh girl, shout out to you. Great call there. She knows her stuff.
She knows her stuff, but I just want to say this. If you're one of these Steeler fans talking yourself into Will Howard, stop it. Check yourself and reset. Will Howard is not the Steelers' quarterback of the future.
Listen,
and that narrative
Will
needs
Howard
to be put
had
to
a
bed.
good
Although
meeting
I like
with
guy.
Gruden.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
He had a good meeting with Gruden on Barstool. But look at Pittsburgh girl calling out rookie Will Howard.
It's just Yinzer women. Saying they know football.
They know football. Mason Rudolph. A lot of Yinzers like Mason Rudolph.
I love Mason Rudolph as much as the next guy too. But Pittsburgh girl, let's not pretend. Aaron Rodgers is by far the best quarterback on this roster, and I love Mason Rudolph.
So what is success? That's the question we pose to everybody. So to me, success that's achievable, I mean, would probably be winning a playoff game. I
think if the Steelers win a playoff
that
game
would
with
be
Aaron
success.
Rodgers at quarterback, everybody's like, "Oh my God, this was the greatest thing ever." Because it's been the last time they won a playoff game was like 2016, 2017. And I think it was Matt Moore was playing quarterback for the Dolphins. That. It's been a long time.
No, it's been a while. All right, let's get one more call in here because a lot of people want to weigh in on this topic.
Hey, boys, this is Abraham over there in Boulder City. And I just want to shed some truth over the Aaron Rodgers situation going down in Pittsburgh. Now, look, is he old? Yes. Is he a bad person? Maybe. Is he in some TP hut somewhere with a shaman doing that pink stuff Stephon Diggs had on the boat? Probably. But I'll tell you what, he's better than Mason Rudolph. I mean, Rodgers, he gives the Steelers a high floor, and that's all they're really looking for. Realistically, that team has about a divisional round ceiling, and then unless they really do anything differently next year, they're just going to wind up in the same spot. So, yeah, I mean, they're just spinning their wheels, really, but Rodgers does make them a little better.
All right, thank you to the comedian, Avraham.
Shout out to Abe in
Boulder City. Funny call. James, real quickly, what do you want to say?
Yeah, it just feels like they're pushing the can down the road, the ultimate goal of finding your franchise guy, which is what you ultimately need to win a Super Bowl, not a Band-Aid. And that's really what it feels like Aaron Rodgers is here in a situation that isn't going to win you a Super Bowl. So I think if you really actually want to contend again, Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, Pittsburgh Steelers, then you need to focus on getting your franchise quarterback of the future, not a one-year Band-Aid on a team that doesn't really have a future.
Yeah. The plight of a Yinzer right there. You heard it there from James. Guys, coming up after a short break, TJ Lavin, the BMX Hall of Famer, the new member of the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. He's joining me here for a conversation next.
Can Aaron Rodgers win in Pittsburgh, a playoff win? And I think it has a lot to do with everything health-wise around Aaron Rodgers, but mainly I think it has to do with, are they going to be able to develop a run game and have a balanced attack? So, I think their ceiling is rather limited with the other quarterbacks in the AFC, but if they're able to develop a run game, with Warren and the new rookie, and then, with DK as a great receiver blocker, and I think, can you depend on Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball 25 to 35 times per game, I think, and make 2 or 3, throws on third downs and convert in the red zone, I think that could be a winning formula to at least make the second round. But, his health is important, and also, developing a run game, and, we'll see what happens.
Welcome inside the den here, Fox 5 Studios. Mike Davis, great guest with us today. He's a BMX Hall of Famer, and now he's becoming a member of the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. He's Las Vegas born and raised, a Durango high school kid. The great TJ Lavin is here with us. TJ, you were playing piano in our waiting room.
I was.
In the lobby.
That's because I show up early wherever I'm at, and then the security guard was like, I want to learn how to play piano too. And I said, well, then come on over. So
and you're self-taught. You trained yourself by ear.
Yeah. I just learned it, and there was no such thing. He was like, did you learn on YouTube? I was like, nah, there's no such thing as your YouTube when I learned. I was a kid.
How old were you when you?
Well, when I started playing around with a keyboard, I was probably 4 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is even before you started riding.
Yeah, totally. I was riding BMX after that, but I still rode bikes like since I was 2 with the training wheels. But like the piano thing, I was real into it already.
And I know from your songs like Soldier and stuff, like you're a good rapper as well. I mean, you're pretty, so you're musically inclined, but
I love music. I love it.
Who's your favorite piano player?
Elton John is the sickest, but my favorite piano player, probably Mickey Finn.
Who I don't know.
He had a show here in Vegas for a long time. He's a Vegas legend. But he was here before Liberace and all that.
I've never heard
he was
of him.
like the baddest dude. And he actually came to my house and ripped my piano before. And his son, his name is Tracer Finn. He'd probably be in the Sports Hall of Fame soon. So he's like a BMX dude, one of the original BMX guys in Vegas.
That's so that's one of your first love, would you say, was music before even riding? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely loved it my whole life growing up. I mean, like the rap stuff, we like listen to Beastie Boys and Run DMC and all that stuff growing up, and then we would just rap the songs going camping and everything else.
All right, thank you so much to TJ Lavin, such a great dude. Go check out the full conversation on our YouTube page, Silver State Sports.
Stanley Cup versus NBA Finals. Which is the better watch? Travis Rutter on Facebook says, Stanley Cup, not even close. Is the NBA still a thing? Hasn't been good to watch since the late 90s.
Welcome back to Sound Off Sports. Mike Davis, James Edward Berrickman, the fourth. We asked everybody at home, would you rather watch the Stanley Cup Finals or the NBA Finals? Two things going on right now. The ultimate prize in two Big Four sports. Panthers up 2-1.
Yeah. Blowout dub last night.
Blowout. Or
Monday. Yeah, Monday.
We're going to see what happens with OKC as well with the Pacers 1-1 there. Halliburton making magic happen in
Again?
game one, but SGA, MVP, ties it back up.
Thunder
So 1-1 there.
Wagon. Nobody's stopping them.
I mean, it's a long time coming for that franchise. Yeah. GM Sam Presti, incredible GM. I mean, just the way he's positioned that franchise. We remember the big three with KD, Harden, and Westbrook. So
we took those for granted, man.
They've been aiming for this for a long time. So I think they're going to end up on top. But to me, it's interesting. These are two championships in big-time sports where there's not a ton of fanfare. You don't feel like everybody's talking about the Stanley Cup, everybody's talking about the NBA Finals. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of chatter.
It's people who really love hockey are talking about hockey, and it's people who really love basketball are talking about basketball.
Which is puzzling because you got Connor McDavid, who's the face of the NHL.
Right.
You know, it's a repeat, yes, of last year's Stanley Cup with the Panthers and the Oilers back at it. But you would think for the NHL, there would be more interest, I guess.
Just in my experience, and I mean, I'm not sure everybody would agree. I actually doubt everybody would agree. I think the NHL Finals, or the Stanley Cup Final, is far more interesting this year than what's going on over in the NBA. Only because of star power. You have a guy like Connor McDavid, who is the greatest player of his generation, going for his first Stanley Cup against the team that denied him just last season. When you watch Connor McDavid, you could have never watched a hockey game before in your life.
Yeah.
When you watch Connor McDavid, he jumps off the page. You can see, oh, that guy's special. Me and you.
We saw him at T-Mobile.
We saw him live and in person. He is as good as advertised. He steps on the ice. He's by far the best player on the ice. He looks like a man amongst boys. And I think for that reason, because of who Connor McDavid is, the star he is, I much prefer watching the Stanley Cup Final this year.
And I just think there is a lot of star power. McDavid's got 3 MVPs. Draisaitl, his teammates, got 1. You know, face of the league in McDavid. And the Panthers just won the Stanley Cup. They got Tkachuk. They got Bobrovsky in net. I mean, so
there's star power over there. And those guys, other than McDavid, Draisaitl, and company, they're small potatoes compared to McDavid. But on the NBA side, like, yeah, you have Shea. Yeah, you have Halliburton, but are those guys special?
Well, here's the thing. Shea is the MVP, so he finally got that MVP award, but I think smaller market, Oklahoma City, a lot of people aren't familiar with Shea, and he doesn't light up you got to be a basketball head.
He doesn't jump off the screen.
Yeah, you got to be a basketball head to appreciate what he's doing because he does little things very special. Same with Halliburton. Halliburton really was, just throughout these playoffs, becoming a household name. So, yes, smaller market with Indiana Pacers, smaller market with OKC. It's a different thing for the NBA. So I do think the NHL should be happy and giddy about the exposure they're getting this time around. Guys, coming up after a short break, it's time for Sink or Swim. I think we're going to have to revisit the Aaron Rodgers marriage situation a little bit more. We got more coming up on that after these words.
Hi, my name's Cricket, and I prefer the NBA Finals over the NHL. The NBA is more exciting, more fun, more thrilling to me, than the NHL. I'm watching both, but I prefer the NBA because it's just, the competition level is over the top. Have a great day.
Marriage. Something that James and I probably can't speak on because we haven't
can't.
we haven't been married. We haven't been engaged even.
Nope.
You and I. But Aaron Rodgers, being the quarterback, already a public figure, now he's the quarterback, most important position in sports. You can't tell me that this story isn't
A distraction.
not just a distraction, but it's something that's going to be circulating for a long time. This is not the right guard getting married,
People
and
are
we don't know
wondering
who
his wife is.
This is a big story.
Why does it matter to you who his wife is?
Because
why should it matter to anybody other than his teammates?
Do you realize
and people
Aaron
close
Rodgers
to him?
loves this? You get
Yes,
that,
he does
right?
love this. Is
Like,
who
that's-
Aaron Rodgers is.
Any other person
he loves
would
being the
post this.
mysterious
Yes,
guy in the room.
They post
Yes.
it on their IG and be, oh my
Yes.
God, the love of my life. He loves the fact that nobody knows who he's married to. Like
It's none of our business to know who his wife is.
I almost don't want to talk about it because this is what
It's
he
not
wants
like,
us to do.
Do you think he's hiding it from his teammates or his coaches?
He
And
might
if he
be.
is, then okay, maybe that's a problem.
I think that would be
But
problematic.
just because us in the media are sitting
Who
here
do you
wondering
think
who
he
his
married?
wife is,
Who's Brittany?
some lady named Brittany.
Who do you think it is? A shaman? Is it a lady who
Maybe
helps
it's
him with
Brittany
ayahuasca?
Mahomes. I don't know.
If it's Brittany,
Brittany Rodgers Mahomes.
she has a Y, not an I.
Then it can't be her.
Yeah. Hey, this is going to be a distraction for your beloved Steelers. But listen, it's not my team. Jalen Hurts, he marks it in the sand who his girl is. But we'll see what happens. This is what Aaron Rodgers wants. It's fascinating stuff. This has been another great episode of Sound Off Sports. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, make sure you comment, like, give us a call, and tell us your thoughts. We always like when you sound off. Until next time, for James, I'm Mike Davis. We'll see you back here at the Den next week for Sound Off Sports.